So, in this month of October, also known as Orcatober, we're going to be talking about WDC, and we're going to be supporting them for the whole month as well. This will be our charity spotlight for October. So, just a little bit of information. Back in May, I joined the Games for Wave Discord community. And they're a community created by WDC that connects with gamers, content creators, and game developers to raise money for WDC. And they do a fantastic job at this. What they do is is mutually beneficial to all parties. It's beneficial for game developers because they get their games featured more. It's basically free advertising for them, with content creators making content for them. Video content now. Content creators also get more exposure, and a lot of the support and collaboration with WDC will help content creators get that exposure as well. And it also allows for more focused fundraising. I like to, so I stream video games, and I like to stream for charities, particularly whale and dolphin related charities. And but often when I'm raising money on Twitch, for instance, I don't really know where that money is going. I don't know what projects this is helping. I don't know what the end goal is. All I know is I'm raising money for a charity that does good things for like research or conservation. I know what they do, but I don't know where my money is actually going when I raise money for them. But with working with WDC, one of the big things is that they're very transparent on where that goes. So WDC run two main events, and these financial contributions are made quite clear when they run these events. So these events are World Ocean Day and Orcatober. And I'm going to talk first of all about World Ocean Day, and then we'll get into Orcatober, which Orcatober is something you can donate for right now. So in June, I joined the World Ocean Day Festival, and through streamers and a Steam sale, WDC's community of game developers and content creators raised over £150,000, which then went towards WDC's global conservation work, protecting whales and dolphins, including funding a year worth of dives around the UK. That'll be 10 dives to remove discarded fishing gear. It also helped fund WDC's marine pollution expert to tackle ghost gear at the source, working with governments, fishers, harbour authorities, and other stakeholders to push for free and accessible gear disposal nationwide. So this will mean that there's less ghost gear in the water. And in fact, we'll see the importance of this a little bit later in the podcast. I think actually the segment right after this, because I have switched things around in the podcast like very last minute. This month we have had a heck of a lot of entanglements worldwide of mostly baleen whales, but also some dolphins as well. So it's more and more clear how important it is to do something about fishing gear that's causing these entanglements. And in fact, WDC came up with something recently called the ropeless fishing, and I'll get into that in a little bit later. That's gonna be an outtake. That's left in. Hi to me. That's clipping it right now. Hi. Wow, that's a YouTube short right there. But what this spotlight really is about, though, is Orcatober. And this is going to be a month-long event, streaming event in October. This stream is part of that as well, so we are raising money right now for that. But you can participate even if you're not a streamer. If you make YouTube videos, for instance, or if you stream something not game related, or if you're big on social media, the exposure for this event as well as just putting a donation link in there will definitely help. So for those looking for a theme for this event, though, it is horror themed, but you do not have to follow the theme if you do not like horror. Me, I've kind of gone a little bit tame because I'm not really horror centric, but I have kind of included some stuff that kind of scares me. Um, the campaign is charged towards the goal of making sure that the current generation of captive whale and dolphins are the last generation that will ever be in captivity. This is done through changing public perceptions and educating people. So basically, if people realize how cruel these marine parks can be with the whales and dolphins, or if they understand how intelligent these whales and dolphins can be and how much space they need, and how socially complex they are, especially with orcas. I know my area of expertise is orcas. I know how socially complex they are. I don't know so much about dolphins, so this is why like education, even for me, educating me on like bottlenose dolphin dynamics, for instance, is important. Not that I wouldn't be supporting the end of captivity anyway, but it's very important to change public perception, because these kinds of places, they only think about one thing. They think about money. If you are not going to their show, they're not making money. It is not within their interest, financial interest, to keep captive whales and dolphins, because they're also expensive to keep. So in that sense, they will be more willing to let them go to like a sea sanctuary for the captive born cetaceans who probably can't be released, but that will be the best place for them. Or in the case of in the case of wild-born whales and dolphins, they could even be potentially re-released back into the wild, especially with orcas, if they know what pod they're from. So this is also done through communicating with travel agents to blacklist marine facilities. So, like, travel agents won't be promoting places like SeaWorld or Marineland. That's important as well, because there'll be people that end up taking a holiday there, and they'll financially support the marine park. And these will be people that don't really know much about whales and dolphins. They won't see what's wrong about it. But if we go after the travel agents, and like ask them not to support these places, then there'll be less people going through the door of these places, and it will make a more financial impact on them. They also support NGOs in other countries where they're not super heavily based, particularly the Asian countries, where it's actually currently a growing it's a growing market, basically. And the NGOs over there are working hard to try and prevent the spread of people going to see these marine mammals in captivity. And WDC are supporting them. WDC is an internationally known brand, so they've got some weight behind them as well. And given that I live in France, and this is actually something that's happening in France right now as well, with Marineland France and what's happening with their dolphins and their two orcas that they've got, it's something that's very close to me right now, particularly as well. So a portion of the funds will also go towards covering WDC costs and supporting their various other global efforts. I'll be linking my Tiltify donation link in the description, as well as a link for the Games for Waves webpage. Should you be interested in getting involved now in the future? And from there, you can find like ways to actually get involved. It's not too late to join Orcatober as a content creator or as someone on social media, or just give it some exposure. Get more people interested in this.